Welcome students. In the subject of building material construction and planning, we have seen stones, bricks, tiles, and last class we saw about the aluminium. Right? Aluminium, right? Okay. Next, today we are going to see the next topic, gypsum. Okay. So you can see here the pyramid. Pyramid we call it as the Egypt, Giza. It is the biggest pyramid in the world, and it is one of the seven wonders of the world. Okay, so this is made up of gypsum. Okay, one of the materials they have used for the construction of pyramid, we call it is gypsum. Okay, so the next we will see about this. I told you the unit 1, we have last class aluminium. This we have to see gypsum, glass and bituminous materials. So gypsum is a rock-like mineral commonly found in the earth, extracted, right, processed, and usually by man in construction of decorum in the form of plaster and alabaster. It is a binding material, right? So you have seen many white colored small statues in the side of the road, which is made up of plaster of Paris. We call it as plaster of Paris. The main content of plaster of Paris is gypsum. Okay, in the cement they add this gypsum as a material to bring down the setting time. Setting time of ordinary cement is 30 minutes. With 13 minutes the cement made to set. Again we cannot have the powder form, but this gypsum can be added so that the retarding time can be increased. Okay. During the pharaohs, gypsum was used in the mortar. Mortar is, I told you, cement with sand. We call it as a mortar. In the construction of Cheops pyramid around 3000 BC. It is not a new material. It is a very old material. But nowadays the usage is very high. So the one of the usage is the roofs and the roofs, walls made up of the gypsum boards. Okay, we will see in detail. And this is gypsum, calcium sulfate to hydrated calcium sulfate, we call it as the gypsum, or we call it as calcium sulfate dihydrate. We call it as the gypsum. Okay, so the gypsum is mainly the pure white in color, and there may be some gypsum with color, that is different colors. It is mainly due to the MgO, Al2O3, that is Al2O3 is aluminum oxide, ferric oxide as ferrous oxide, silica, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate. These are mixed in gypsum, which gives some colors to the gypsum. But pure form of gypsum is white in color. Okay. So the color is transparent to white and can be grey, green, pink, blue and red because of the impurities, as I told you now. And the next one, it is occurrence of the gypsum. Gypsum is occurrence mainly in the where the sedimentary rocks are found. Right? It is mainly associated with the rocks, sedimentary rock beds, and it is deposited in the lake and sea water. Hydrothermal and unhydrated veins is commonly hydrated to gypsum by groundwater in the near surface exposure. Maybe the sedimentary rocks which are very rich in gypsum are taken, but it has to undergo a production process, right? Then it has to be used, right? Like that of a cement or like that of any other material. It has to undergo a production process, right? So that production process we call it as a calcination. Now we will see. So what is the production of gypsum? The first one, it is the excavating of the material from the earth. The next one, crushing of the material to 25 mm diameter. Then grinding the material to powder. This is the main process by which we will get the calcium sulfate to dihydrate, and then we will cool, pulverize it. Pulverize it is that making it to powder form. Then there is the pulverization process. That is the hydrate process will be reduced. The water content in the gypsum will be reduced and it will be made to powder. It is marketed and it is taken to in the bags. Okay. So here you can see this is the excavation process. So it is in the sedimentary rocks in the side bed of the river, lakes, everywhere that we will take it. And then we are taking it and we will be taking it in the, we will store it in the rock piles. That is, whether it is pure white color, we will store it separately. It is not white color, it is mixed with some impurities. We will store it separately. Then it is taken to the crushed. where it is crushed to 25 mm size. Okay, 25 mm size. Then from there it is again the crushed particles will be taken and it will be for grinding purpose. After grinding, we again taken to the calcination process. Calcination is nothing but heating to temperature of 1000 degrees centigrade, where all the water will be evaporated and the formation of calcium sulfate 2H2O will be formed. Okay. After that, it is taken to the mixtures where it is cooled, it is pulverized, it is taken and it is taken in the bags, it is packed and it is taken and it is distributed in the market. Okay. So here we will see in detail about the calcination process. That is the main thing that we call it other name as the plaster of Paris. The gypsum board we call it as the dry walls. There is different names. Gypsum is there depending upon the products, depending upon the applications. So gypsum rock is when heated to 100 and 190 degrees. That is, it is not fully calcinated. In case of incomplete calcination, this is the formation. Calcium 2H2O will form CaSO4 half H2O plus 3 by 2 H2O. This is a incomplete calcination process. This happens when the temperature is raised up to 190 degrees centigrade. But when temperature is above 190 degrees centigrade, then complete calcination will take place, by which this water calcium 2H2O will change to CaSO4 plus 2H2O. This is called as the gypsum anhydride. This will be in the form of a powder. Okay, pulverized into powder. This will be in the form of a anhydrous part, right? It has some water in it. This will be fully, it won't have water. It not having no water. It is not having water. Okay. This is the full calcination process. Okay. So after what happens, both of these products from gypsum rock are recombining with water. Again we will be washing the product of the calcination. When we are washing it, it again forms the CaSO4 2H2O, which we call it as the calcium sulfate water, right? Okay, 2H2O, we call it dye water, and this is mainly carried out with the help of the cleanse. Cleanse is nothing but it is a very big that is mixing particles, where the particles will be allowed to mix it thoroughly. It will maybe of two types. One is the kettle kilns and the rotary kilns. All of it know it is a kettle. Kettle is a tea kettle, you have know. It is a vertical layer where the particles will be like this. Gypsum rock will be there. It is lined with brick. As I told you, the bricks it is used for lining purpose. Here also lining purpose. The heat will be applied here. The heat is up to 190 and above 300 up to 300 degrees centigrade. So what happens means, this will form, that is the calcium gypsum rock will be fully, it will be undergoing a calcination process and it will form this one, calcium sulfate plus 2H2O, right? This again forms this one and it forms the calcium sulfate 2H2O. It will form the water. So first it is formed calcium sulfate 2H2O in the process of clean, right? The second one, it is the rotary. Rotary is the rotationary movement. It is a stirrer movement, right? It is having a stirrer movement. There it is going for a rotary movement. So in the rotary movement, it is called as a rotary cleanse. We will see about this cleanse even when we go for a production of cement. Okay, where the temperature heavy flame is there. Here the products are allowed to pass through. When it goes here, we have a dry which will allow the particles to move it fast. In order to prevent the fire heat from going outside, we have the fire brick lining. And next, due to this action of this heat, this reaction, this calcination reaction will take place, and the end product will be CaSO4 2H2O. Okay, so you can see, I repeat again, this is the incomplete calcination. It is CaSO4 dot half H2O plus 3 by 2 H2O will be there, but this is not allowed, this is not taken into consideration. This product we call it as the plaster of Paris. We call it as a plaster of Paris. If you have gone for a dental doctor for any giving a teeth or fixing a teeth, everything, they will have this plaster of Paris. And also I told you now, in the roadside they have this plaster of Paris for making the statues, different ornamental things, decorative things, everything can be done with this plaster of Paris. The calcination temperature is 100 to 190 degrees centigrade. So the next one, it is a hard wall plaster, that is a board that we are using it in the board now, plaster, gypsum plaster board as a false roofing in our homes. So many that is marriage halls, cinema theaters, malls and places where people go in abundance. We have this hard wall plasters. Even nowadays in home, we will have the plaster of Paris. When it is taken above 190 degrees centigrade or full calcination, complete calcination, this will form, that is the fluorine plasters, right, without impurities, and with some impurity it is the hard finish plasters. So next we will see about the gypsum boards. In the construction, civil engineering construction, the main thing and the major thing that we use it is the gypsum board. Okay, gypsum board is commonly known as drywall. I told you now. It is also called as drywalls, and it is used as a walls or it is used as a roofs, and it is a technical product named by the manufacturer for a specific board with a gypsum core and a paper facing. It will have a gypsum board and it will have a paper facing at the outside. We call it as a gypsum board, and it is a premier building material nowadays. We have a false ruling with the gypsum board into which all the wires, other things are passed through it and nothing will be seen outside. And also it is used as a wall, it is used as a ceiling, it is used as a partition wall or partition system. Okay, almost even in the residential, institutional, or it is a commercial building, all the things we are providing this one. Okay, so actually it forms a monolithic mix. It is a single behavior structure, and the joints and fastener heads are covered with a joint treatment system. So how to make the gypsum board is that the gypsum board will have this type of continuously moving rollers. Okay, the gypsum board, calcinized gypsum is mixed with water and additives to form a slurry. Slurry is not a hot solid, it is not a water. It will be a thick mix which will be formed in between two continuous layers. There will be one layer here, one layer in between, it will be allowed to pass. So what happens means there will be continuous layers of papers also be there. So it will be pressed one by one, and it will form a paper, and the board it will form a continuous alternate layers by which it is forming a board. Okay. So you can see here the paper becomes chemical and mechanically bonded to the core. The board is then cut into length, whatever the length they needed, and conveyed to dryer. Dried properly, all the moisture are removed, and then it is sent to the packaging, and it is distributed to the people in need. Okay. So the next one we will see some properties and uses of this gypsum plasters. The first one, it is the plaster of Paris. The setting time is 5 to 20 minutes, and it is used for the sculpturing, that is making of statues. I told you now. Then ornamental works, small repair works and all we are using, and also I am not at all touching the medical field. The next one, it is a hard wall plaster. The setting time is 1 hour. The compressive strength is 7 Newton per mm square. And the admixtures result in increased plasticity and setting time and reduced shrinkage. And it can be used in the plastering works. And it is produced of prefabricated structural units and easy to fix. And it can replace the bricks and the blocks. Okay. So the next, it is used for as a flooring and hard finish plaster means the setting time will be up to 16 hours. The compressive strength is 7 Newton per mm square, almost equal to the brick. And it is also prefabricated units. Wherever we want, we can fix it, right? And the gypsum often serves as a fireproofing material, even though its strength is destroyed long continuous heat, but it can be used to resist some fire, right? And also this product tends to disintegrate when exposed to moisture, therefore should not be used for exterior. It is used for only interior wall thing. But plastic, this board cannot be used outside, but gypsum itself can be used as a plastering outside. Okay. So actually what are the other uses means? It can be used in some bread and dough mixers as a calcium source and baking aid. It will be easily allowed to bake, right? It will come as a gypsum will act as a catalyst agent, and it will fasten the action, and it will give taste also, and it is acts as a filler and fire retardant in the plastic product, by which the plastic product the increase in heat resistance can be increased. It can be used in the Portland cement and special cement products for retarders and expansion control. Be a source of calcium and sulfate and sulfur for plant growth. Now we will see where they are using even in the plant growth, and used as a modeling material for tooth restoration. Mostly they are using this in the dentist. And also the other thing is that ingredient for many patching compounds. So small, if there is a small spalling means moving of small plastering outside means we can fix it with the plaster of Paris. Even in the tiles, white color tiles, there is a hole like this due to something, we can fix it with the plaster of Paris. And we used with glass to fabricate large lightweight architectural decorations, used to mold materials to fabricate some parts of trucks and automobiles, and it is used for the juice extraction of some fruits and vegetables. These are the main and major application. You can see many applications in the construction field also. Now we will see in the construction what is the use of this plaster boards. The plaster boards are discovered in 1888 by the Augustine Sackett, and but it is made into the use as a board after that. But you can see that even in 6000 BC, when the pyramid was constructed, gypsum was used. Okay, so nowadays, as on date, there was more than 200 factories in Europe alone making this gypsum board. Nowadays, only India for the past 10 years they have started the gypsum board, and more than 1000 small scale industries are working on it. Okay, so this is a plaster board you can see. Okay, this is the plaster board, white color. It also be different colors we can use it. It is used for partitions and the lining of the walls, ceilings, roofs and floors. This is for the construction, mostly it is used. The properties of the plaster board can be modified to meet certain requirements such as fire resistance, humidity resistance, impact resistance, etc. by mixing with the other materials, right? Okay. For example, for impact resistance, we can even mix with some fibers to make a plastic board. And the decorative plasters, they are used it, like you can see this all, you can see it in the roofs or the walls, you can see some decorations here, right? So this is a one mold, we can make it the decoration, and we can make it and we can bring it and fix it, right? So it is used mainly aesthetically pleasing appearance. What is the color that you want, you can use it. But with the brick, this is very difficult to make a decorative, but with the gypsum boards that we can use it. Okay, so you can see here. Even here I told you now, almost all the lightings, everything are inside the plastic, this gypsum boards. So what happens now, all the wiring will go through, there won't be any wiring seen outside. Not only white color, you can see a decorative one. Here the fans can be there, decorative light. We can use it with also different colors. It is used for walls and ceilings. This is the number one usage. And the next one usage is the plaster blocks are used. So not only the plaster boards, plaster blocks are like this, similar to a brick block, we can use it. It is used for partition walls. It is used for this tiles and ceilings. You can see this is a partition wall. This is a different type of partition wall. This is also a fully one full wall partition wall is there. It is a compound wall. This blocks is used as a brick for the interior thing. This is a interlocking things where we can use the steel into it, and we can have this block so that the tensile strength will also get increased. So here it is a self-leveling screeds means here to make the floor very smooth. Okay, what will happen? We gypsum mixed with the water, and we'll put it and it will just move like this. It will form a very smooth surface. Only leveling is needed. Okay. So the next one, it is the gypsum boards. So there we saw the gypsum blocks. Here we are seeing the gypsum boards. So gypsum boards are used for this purpose, right? It is used for a table and partition walls. It can be used for several other purposes, and it is available in the different colors. It is used for lining of walls, ceilings, roofs and floors. And what are these are the uses of gypsum based on the construction site. Then when we go for the properties of the gypsum, number one, we will see about the fire properties. Okay, it is a natural composition gypsum, or the gypsum plastic boards are inherently fire resistant, and it is of C8SO4 2HO. So what happens, it itself is having some water in it. So when fire is there, this water will mix with the particles inside the board, and it will, make the fire blow out, right? It will not allow the fire to pass, right? You can see the crystal water evaporates and form a protective layer of gypsum is formed, so which will resist the fire. You can see even the board will alternate with the packing material is also found, which will be also resistance in the fire. Okay, it can be have a constant temperature of 100 degree centigrade as long as water is released from the gypsum. Here also you can see here, right? So after 2 hours of heat, what will happen? It will form a protective layer. It won't allow the heat to pass through. It becomes a non-combustibility, and it can withstand a fire up to a temperature rise up to 4 hours. The second one, it is acoustic properties. Acoustic is the sound. It is a very good in resisting the sound. It won't allow the sound to pass from one end to another end. It has a very beneficial impact on the noise reduction, as produces special acoustic grade plaster boards. So nowadays they are using it in the cinema theaters, they are using it in the recording rooms in order to observe the echoes, right? Okay, so you can see the acoustic will be having some dots here. You can see the dots now, acoustic ceiling type, so by which the unwanted sounds will be reduced. Even this is for the walls, we have different types of holes, and you can see even they are having different layers in order to act as a acoustic as well as the fire resistant materials. So actually when the plastic boards are used as a walls, we call it as a dry walls. It is the plastic board walls, we call it as a dry walls. Here also you can see, okay, the fiberglass fibers will be between two gypsum boards, which will allow the particles to safe against the acoustic, thermal, everything. It will be good. Fire, everything it is good. Okay, so here you can see in a building where the ceilings are also having a plastic board, it also the gypsum boards, even the walls are having some gypsum boards. The third one, it is a thermal properties, the same thing where it is able to take the fire resistance, same, it is directly proportional to the thermal. So here it is having a very good thermal insulation properties. So this is the same thing, due to this fiber, it acts as not only acoustic, also in the thermal. We have different layers of that is that gypsum board can be having different layers of boards alone, or it can be that is between two materials, right? So that it can resist more thermal insulation, can become as a very good thermal insulation material. So what is the main thing that thermal, plaster of Paris as a wall, it won't allow the temperature of outside to come inside the room, and also it will same time it won't allow the temperature inside the room to go out. Okay, so you can see here there is a hall that is made up of gypsum box, the boards, and also it is other interior rooms also made up of this because of its very good heat storing ability. You can see so many things, right? So these are the different materials that is used in the ceilings, in the roofs, and the walls, and the thing because it is having a very good thermal. The next one, it is the aesthetic. Aesthetic, all of you know, right? It is the beauty. I told you in the first class itself, right? Aesthetic is the beauty. So here the plastic boards are the stucco. We call it as the plastic board itself is a stucco in some places. It is used as an architectural view. You can see this is a bedroom fully made up of different colors of plastic gypsum boards. You can see it is having a design, it is having a different colors, it is having white colors and the light. You can see this is a there is a hall, right? The front hall. Here you can see this is another type of hotel rooms, or this one contrasting. You want yellow color, I want a brown color, or a blue color, or a ordinary color, or a whatever the color you can do, so that it will be very pleasant, it will be aesthetic, it will be matching to our taste, and it can be used. The next one, ease of installation. So this is very easy, right? So you can see here only two persons are taking a board and they are easily fixing it. Once they fix this rails, right, then they can fix it. One person is there to fixing the walls. You can see easily they are movable, right? Here some persons are doing the work out of it. You can see that between two boards they are drilling and they are fixing the joints. Everything is easy. Okay, here also you can see even the one person can take and fix it. Here you can see that it is easy to fix the ceilings as well as the walls. Okay, so here you can see they will use it a board, they will fix it, and they have the tape it, or they can go in for a scum tape, or they can keep it at standing. It will not fall, then they can easily nail it. So we will see the real estate or real life, what are the some buildings where the gypsum is used. Number one, it is a pyramid. I told you pyramid in around 6000 BC it was used, right? So the pyramid is a material where it is a structure where the olden kings are buried inside. Okay, so it comes under the one of the world's wonder, right? So why it is used is that it is a gypsum's durability as a building material. So 5000 years later also we can study that gypsum was used 5000 years ago as a building material. So the next one, you can see the plaster of Paris. The name Paris comes. So it is alabaster is form of gypsum used both in building and as a decorative material. Large deposit of gypsum were discovered near Paris, hence it is called as the plaster of Paris. Okay, so the plaster of Paris is a new gypsum and it is chemically very active, easily set, and it is used for sculptures used for in the dental field. Okay, so actually the farmers also used this as a gypsum as a additive, soil additive in order to yield the crops in the Paris. So this maximum they used this gypsum, and this name came under plaster of Paris. You can see this is around 17th century. You can see this sculpture was formed. This is one of the sculpture in the churches. It is a sculpture found in France. It is made up of plaster of Paris. Here it is used house of it is in Iran. You can see it is in this is a monument. It is there. It is also made of plaster of Paris. You can see the different colors in it. And this is 15th century. This stencil, that is a drawing, painting. It is there. You can see. I don't know how far. Here there is a small things which is of made up of full of gypsum powder and gypsum boards. And this is a castle in Japan, right? It is in Japan. Okay, this is also fully made up of the gypsum and also the gypsum board inside. Outside also for the plastering they have used gypsum. So here you can see some of the other sculptures, small materials that is made up of this gypsum board. You can see that is it in 79 AD. You can see AD 79, around 2000 years ago it was used. It is a small 38.4 centimeter woman, and here you can see the different sculptures, right? It is a Jean Antoine Hult in 1778. It is a young girl that is modeled. Even now this statue is very famous, and it is there available in photo in different places. And here you can see this is one of the very famous sculptures, that is a woman having a baby, packing a baby. It is by the 1996 by the famous Bessie Potter Bona, and this is there still in the museum in Paris. Okay, these are the some things, and also the use of gypsum is there in by the Augustine Sackett is the person who founded that gypsum board can be used in 1888, and he helped in most of the structures, right? And gypsum board. Okay. And the next one, it is the replacement of wood and as a base for the application of plaster. In 1893, Burles Columbian Exposition Palace in Chicago finished the gypsum plaster bound with fire. So in 1916, this was constructed with plaster board because formerly they have a building with wood which was destroyed by the fire. So they went for this plaster board so that they can retain the fire. Okay, this is one of the another milestone in the gypsum board utilization, we can say. It is in the World War I. World War I, actually the people, there was a heavy fire and several servicemen loses their houses, everything they lose. So in that they want to build it within a short period of time, several thousands of houses they have to build. So they used this masonry concrete along with the gypsum board, and these are the two buildings that were constructed for them. One is the 100 stories Hancock Tower, still it is there in Chicago. It is one of the tallest tower at that time. And the second one, it is the Sears Tower with 110 stories. These both are the very tallest tower at that time. Okay, these are some of the other materials, the famous buildings where the modern buildings. I am talking here, this also shows the modern buildings. Nowadays, even if you enter into a 5-star hotel or a small home, palace, everyone, you can see this plaster of Paris, that is the gypsum. So in this class, we have seen what is gypsum, what are the uses of gypsum, properties of gypsum, application of gypsum, and we have seen in the real life structures in the construction buildings how we have used. In the next class, we will see about the next material, glass.